Our heroes have made their way back into the future only to be met with painful defeat by the hands of Goku, Black, and Zamasu. As Goku is down for the count and Vegeta is backed up against Zamasu, Trunks now takes center stage as he unleashes a new and unknown form in which has stirred endless conversations and discussions within the Dragon Ball community as Trunks looks to face off against Black and Zamasu while he buys time for Goku and Vegeta to escape back into the past. What's going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome to my official Dragon Ball Super Episode 62 breakdown review entitled Trunks' Angry Superpower Explosion, leading into next week's exciting episode of Dragon Ball Super Episode 63, in which will be a very astonishing and a very amazing episode. Now keep in mind, guys, this video will contain massive amounts of spoilers, so if you guys don't want anything ruined for you, simply fast forward the video, go watch the episode, come back so we can talk more Dragon Ball Super down in the comments. Don't cry in the comments about being spoiled by the thumbnail or any of that, because nothing is being said or shown that you guys don't already know. Also, be sure to check out the description down below for lots of goodies, updates, and contact information to where we can interact on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That way we can talk more Dragon Ball Super. And again, quick plugs before we begin. If you guys are new to this channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for all latest and Dragon Ball news, updates, What If Battles, Xenoverse 2, and much more daily uploads and daily content for you all to watch and enjoy. So I thank you so much for supporting the channel greatly, as I always do. Be sure to spread the word about Unreal ENT Gaming. The translations were provided by Herms98 on Twitter, just in case you guys are wondering how I was able to pick up on the dialogue prior to the subs coming out. And with that being said, on to the episode now. The episode pretty much starts off with future Trunks calling out Black and saying that he will defeat him, and Black is impressed that Trunks has the power, but is not too impressed because Trunks goes on to say, you know, I will destroy you. And that's when, you know, pretty much Zamasu still insists on calling Trunks a sinner again, as he takes exception to the, you know, his power and whatnot, because Zamasu is a little surprised that Trunks does bear the power that he has now, but also he finds out that, you know, Black finds out that the idea of Trunks defeating him is hilarious. So Black thinks it's funny that despite what Trunks is able to do, he still can't defeat him. So we get to ensue with Trunks fighting Black, and for a moment we see how Trunks is able to hold his own, but gradually enough Black is able to improve himself and he's able to hold his own against, you know, Trunks for the time being, as Zamasu is overlooking Vegeta's actions to make sure that Vegeta does not step in to help Trunks out during this fight, and in which case, you know, Zamasu kind of crosses that line because he also helps Goku Black out as they're both tackling Trunks down, and we get to see how Trunks for a moment also is able to fling Black around. He was kicking him in the face, he was actually holding his own even when Zamasu and Black had unleashed their combined attack against Trunks. Trunks put his hands together in the form of a final flash and was able to actually kind of push back the attack a little bit, and then he finally grabbed it and flung it up in the air, which was pretty cool because, you know, to see Trunks being able to do that on his own is pretty impressive. But the one flaw in this episode was the fact that they never explained what this transformation is. Is it a legendary Super Saiyan? Is it Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan? Is it Super Saiyan Blue? Is it, you know, some sort of a purity form? We don't know. Is it false Super Saiyan Blue? We don't know, because they never really touched up as to what it actually was, which again was a major letdown, but I'm pretty sure in the manga chapters they're going to go on ahead and elaborate further. But again, Black is impressed that Trunks has the power to pretty much hold his own, but he was still not impressed because Trunks had threatened his life, and Black pretty much took that as a joke and he said, oh, what happened? I thought you were going to protect this world. I thought you were going to defeat me, so what's stopping you here? And we see Trunks use the Masenko, he's using the final flash, so remnants of both Gohan and Vegeta here are using the Masenko and the final flash, which is pretty cool. He also managed, after Zamasu and Black had double teamed him, to kick Zamasu in the face and pretty much punch Black into the ground, in which case he unleashed a flurry and a cluster of ki blasts and energy waves to push and hold Zamasu and Black down for the time being until Vegeta grabs Goku and they leave, in which case Vegeta does grab Goku and they leave, and he threw the Sensu Beam Pack to Mai as he also grabbed Bulma, and they all went inside the time machine to leave. And we also see how Black picked that up. He noticed that they were going to leave again and he wanted to destroy the time machine with everyone in it, but of course Trunks prevented that as he unleashed one of his blasts of his own, pretty much deflecting his attack. So for the time being, yes, Trunks is durable. For the time being, yes, Trunks is able to hold his own. Is he able to inflict significant damage? Maybe, because he was actually able to make Black bleed a little bit, you know, from his mouth, but that still wasn't reassuring because Black emerged from the smoke and he said, is that all you got? And we see how Vegeta tosses the Sensu Beam bag, you know, to Mai, so that may hold some sort of significance to Mai and Trunks in the future. And right before, you know, they leave, you know, Vegeta tells Trunks, don't die, and right after they disappear, Zamasu's like, they're gone, and Black says, whatever, we'll be seeing them again really soon anyway, let's just go ahead and just, you know, have our little fun with Trunks here. And we see how, you know, when Goku and Vegeta go back into the past, you know, little Trunks was the first person that was there to greet them, and he noticed that, you know, Goku was hurt yet again, Vegeta was a little hurt, Bulma was cramped in the time machine, and Beerus and Whis were just sitting there waiting. They were pretty much eating, you know, somewhat of a sundae or whatever. They were eating food, and Beerus welcomes them, but Bulma, as soon as Bulma walks out, once again, she flips out on Beerus, telling him that nothing actually changed, everything that Beerus said was wrong, and that the future right now is in grave danger, and they need some sort of answers as to what's going on. And that's when Beerus replies by saying, well, I did think that Trunks' explanation did make sense, but in the end, I don't care, I'm still gonna stick by what I said, and the case is closed as of right now. And Beerus considers the case to be closed because the timeline that Zamasu is, in the future in does not affect this one, in which case Beerus says this timeline Zamasu is dead, so the other timelines aren't his problem, so he leaves. And even before that, we get to see how Vegeta explains, to Beerus, Whis, and everyone else that was there, what exactly had happened in the future, in which case he also mentions how the gods are dead as well. So that struck Beerus as a little odd, and he tells Whis, let's go, and they obviously leave. They go to Gowasu's place towards the end of the episode, and in which case, towards the end of the episode, we see episode 63 is going to be an all-out war, because we see Black pretty much punching Trunks into the mountain. We see how Vegeta is able to use his Galley Gun against, Zamasu. So this is an all-out war that's going to occur in next week's episode. But what struck me in this episode as well is how Trunks wanted to pretty much, help himself out in the future. So he goes off to recruit Goten, in which case we haven't seen Goten in quite some time, and he knocks on his window, and he tells Goten, let's go, and they leave, and Chi-Chi is with Gohan, and she asks Krillin, like, where's Goku? I don't know what's going on. He's been missing for days. And Krillin's like, listen, I have no idea what the heck is going on. And she notices up in the sky how Goten and Trunks are flying somewhere, so she demands for Gohan to take her and, follow them in a way. So little Trunks and Goten, they get to Bulma, and they pretty much ask Bulma, we have to go and we have to help these dudes out because they need our help. And that's when, Vegeta is walking by in the distance, and Vegeta thinks that there has to be a way to beat them. Despite them having to work as a cohesive unit, they have to have some sort of weakness. Meanwhile, he overhears Bulma telling Trunks and Goten that there's no way they can help. And Bulma even says to both Goten and Trunks, it's an opponent that not even Goku can handle, so there's no way that you guys are going to go into the future. And after hearing that from Vegeta, he began to get a little agitated because his wife is saying that not even Goku can handle it and implying that he ain't shit himself. So that kind of ticked him off in a little way. But even when Chi-Chi arrives, Goten and Trunks try to leave because they don't want Chi-Chi knowing that, Goten is there. And she begins to ask Bulma, like, where's Goten? Where's Goku? What's going on? And Bulma pretty much tries to cover up and say, well, I don't really know. And then that's when Trunks and Goten bump into Vegeta, a very angry Vegeta, mind you. And Trunks pretty much exposes himself by saying, Dad? And that's when Chi-Chi hears this and she's like, Goten, what's going on? And then even after that, everyone gets there. Piccolo's there, Krillin's there, Gohan's there, and Bulma finally breaks the ice and tells everyone what's been going on. And she begins to explain to Chi-Chi and to Gohan and everyone what exactly has been going on in the future and stuff. And Goku reemerges from the rejuvenation chamber because he was there, he was healed up, and Chi-Chi's like, what's that hole in your chest? Like, what's been going on? Because keep in mind, she doesn't know anything, and neither does Gohan. And that's when Goku tells Chi-Chi that in the future, Zamasu had stole his body and he killed Chi-Chi and Goten off. And Chi-Chi's flipping out. She's like, what the hell? Goten is dead. And she begins to check up on him. But also what I noticed here was the fact that Gohan began to get very angry because he actually even asked everyone. He was like, well, I was a little skeptical as to why he was there, but Trunks never pretty much told us why he was there in the first place. All he did was show up and he was in his house. So Gohan has the memory recap of Trunks and he begins to get very angry. So maybe that's some sort of sign that Gohan needs to start taking shit serious, because up until this point we haven't really seen him. So he's in the background, he's just talking to everyone, and Piccolo says there is a way to defeat them. It's called the Mafuba. And in which case, Piccolo even tells Goku how dangerous the Mafuba is. In which case, we see Goku going to Master Roshi's house to ask about the Mafuba. And Roshi's like, you really want to use the Mafuba, right? It's dangerous. You can die. And Goku's like, I have to practice. I have to use it. And Goku insists that, Goku practices on the turtle. And he, his first couple of attempts to put the turtle inside of the basket was pretty much a flop because he wasn't able to do so. He wasn't able to completely put the turtle in there, which again was really funny because he missed a few times. And Roshi's like, that's bad, do it again. And he's making Goku do it over and over and over again. And the poor turtle's crying. He's just like, stop, stop trying to seal me away and whatnot. But Goku has no other choice but to practice this because essentially enough, this might be the straw that breaks the camel's back once they go back into the future in hopes of stopping Black and Zamasu. So we see how Piccolo thinks that it might work so as long as they don't break the seal once they're sealed away. So, which is very interesting because we see Vegeta go off and he's walking away, and Piccolo asks Vegeta, like, where are you going? Are you going inside the hyperbolic time chamber? And Vegeta doesn't really answer. But then we also cut off to see Beerus and Whis talking to Gowasu, over on Universe 10. And we see how, Gowasu says that he'll take responsibility for the whole mess since, he's the idiot that picked Zamasu to be the next Kaioshin. And Beerus says, he could easily take down future Zamasu, but as a god, he can't break the taboo against the time travel. So that's what struck me as a little intriguing, because Beerus said, I can't go into the future without breaking the taboo. And Gowasu says, you know what? Even if you break that taboo, let me take the responsibility. So could this mean that Beerus is going to go into the future? Go back and watch the episode and just check out the translations that are going to be coming out tomorrow. After Beerus says, he can easily take down future Zamasu. He even puts that in words, I can beat Zamasu, I can beat Black, but I can't break the taboo. Gowasu says, you know what? I'll take responsibility for the whole mess because I was the one that selected Zamasu to be the next Kaioshin. So does this imply that at some point, despite what happens with Fusion, despite what happens with Black and Zamasu, that Beerus is going to go into the future and allow Gowasu to take the responsibility of what happens, because Gowasu was the one that, selected Zamasu to do the, to be the role of the Kaioshin. So what this tells me here is that there is a lot of hope here. There's a lot of hope in Beerus and Whis going into the future to see what's been going on, because Beerus specifically said, I can take down Zamasu, I can take them down, but I can't go into the future without breaking that quote-unquote law. So ultimately enough, if he does end up breaking that law, Gowasu's going to take the blame for that. So Gowasu's willing to take the blame for Beerus, and this sets up for a great and most anticipated showdown, because one can only imagine what the powers of the God of Destruction can do up against the Supreme God once Zamasu and Black fuse. And even in the preview, guys, we get to see how, despite what kind of form Trunks has, it didn't really do any damage, or it doesn't do as much damage to Black and Zamasu as we all hoped it would, because we see how Vegeta goes back there and he's also trying to help them out. But again, little to no avail about this, because we see how Black and Zamasu are able to kick both of their asses despite father and son working together. But I want to know your thoughts down below, guys, because there were a few things that struck me very interesting in this episode. Number one, Beerus asking that he can actually do things without breaking the taboo law, and Gowasu replying by saying, I'll take responsibility for that. Number two, Gohan having to take interest and becoming very angry. So maybe this is a time or a sign for Gohan to shut his mouth and, start taking shit seriously. Otherwise, he's just gonna fall flat on his ass if, the threat were ever to come into the past. So there were a few things that really caught me here, including the preview, as we get to see Trunks using his sword. Even though, I really doubt that he's gonna do any sort of damage, Black has continuously grown, and he continues to grow as he fights, everyone in the future. So even with Trunks using his sword, even with Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta there, again, it's gonna make little to no effort, because next week's episode is actually entitled Don't Defile Saiyan Cells. The curtain rises on Vegeta's intense battle. So Vegeta is destined, to go back and help his son out, but the question is, can he, do enough damage to, make the final blow here? But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, guys. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What are your overall thoughts on the episode? What are your overall thoughts going into next week's episode? And with the upcoming spoilers to come, what are your overall thoughts as to how they can actually defeat this duo, especially when they come together? Let me know your thoughts, guys. Once again, thank you all for watching. If you guys are fans, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome daily content. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to finger that like button. Let me know what you guys think down below. Tune in for more, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Take it easy, guys. Peace.